welcome to Money and Marriage Made Simple, the show for couples who want to get on the same page financially and strengthen their relationship along the way. I'm your host, Tina Bunn, a financial coach and wife who knows what it's like to feel the stress of money and marriage. My husband and I paid off over $50,000 in debt, and it completely transformed our relationship and our lives. Every other week, I'll bring you practical tips, real conversations, and simple strategies to help you take control of your money together, one small step at a time. Let's jump in. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Money and Marriage Made Simple. Thank you so much for joining me today. All right, you have combined finances. You've created shared goals. Now let's talk about a system that keeps you both aligned month after month. Today, we're talking about the monthly money date. This is your secret weapon for staying financially connected. This isn't about spreadsheets. It's not about the stress. It's about teamwork, communication, while still having fun. We're going to make it fun. Okay, I'll give you a clear system for monthly financial check-ins that actually strengthen your relationship. So why do money dates matter? When you have regular money check-ins, you're keeping the lines of communication open and keeps the money conversation laid back and tension-free. It takes the pressure off the money talks when it's a regular, normal part of life. This is the best thing that you can do to avoid those money fights, because when you're doing it regularly, talking about money regularly, it ends up being no big deal. It takes away that tension. It also ensures you're both still going in the same direction. Sometimes you get off track, and these monthly check-ins make sure that you are still working towards the goals that you set together. It prevents small issues from becoming big problems. Getting these small things out in the open right away keeps that resentment from building in your relationship. It makes budgeting collaborative instead of controlling. You often have one person who primarily manages the money. If you don't come together and talk through the finances regularly, it can begin to feel like one of you has more control over the money than the other. Or it can feel like one of you just doesn't care. If the one person is doing all the work and taking all the time and the other doesn't do anything with it, it can feel like they don't care. And we don't want that. We don't want either way. We don't want the controlling, and we don't want the lack of caring. Even if one person manages day-to-day finances, and that's okay if that's the case, both of you still need to be involved. All right, let's talk about how you can set up your money date so you can actually have success and avoid the arguments and that kind of thing. Number one is timing. First of all, make sure it's towards the last week of the month. That works best because then you can plan your next month ahead. Also, make sure it is a time that is going to be stress-free. Don't do it when the kids are nagging at you and you're coming home from a long day at work and you're stressed. That's not good. Make it a nice, relaxing time. Make it feel like an actual date. Set the mood. Get coffee or a cocktail, depending on the time of day. Get your snacks. Have a comfortable setting. This can be at home or at a coffee shop or something like that. Put the phones away and eliminate any other distractions too. This should feel relaxed and enjoyable, not stressful, but you should all be focused on it too. All right, it sounds weird, but I also want you to make an agenda for this and write it down. I know it sounds crazy, but this will help you make sure that you've done everything and talked about everything that you need to talk about. So here's just a few things that I suggest that you can put on your agenda. Number one, check in on the current month's budget. Look at your spending. How did things go for that month? Where did you go over budget? Where were you under budget? What needs to be tweaked? Things like that. Talk about what went well and identify areas for improvement. It's really important to make sure that you talk about what went well as well, so that you're not only focusing on the negatives and what needs to be fixed. Review progress on your goals. So make sure that you're checking in on your goals and acknowledging what you have done and the progress that you've made. It can be really hard, and so you need to make sure you pay attention to that progress and celebrate it. Next, you're going to plan and adjust next month's budget. You want to look at what's coming up in the month and see if there's any birthdays coming, anniversaries. So you may be going out to dinner, spending more at restaurants, things like that. What is happening in the next month that you need to accommodate for in your budget? Make sure you make those tweaks. If you went way over budget in one category and you were way under budget in another category, make sure you're tweaking that as well. And last, make sure you set action tasks and objectives for the next month. I personally, especially in the beginning of budgeting, I like to make a goal of finding 1 to 3 categories in the budget that you can either decrease or eliminate each month. This just helps you gradually trim back on those expenses instead of drastically slashing costs. Now make sure you are making this money date collaborative and not controlling. You are teammates. You're not auditing each other. You're teammates. You're working together on this. So start with your goal for the meeting. Make sure you think about a goal and say something like, I want to build a budget that works for both of us. Stay curious, not judgmental. Help me understand instead of why did you? It's okay if one person is more detail oriented and kind of almost runs the money date, but make sure you are both involved. Both voices matter. So you need to be, if one of you doesn't really want to be involved as much or isn't naturally involved as much, make sure that you're acknowledging each other and getting the opinions of the other person, because it does matter. You want to make sure that you're both on the same page. If things get heated, take a break. You can take maybe a 15-minute break, take a breath, reevaluate what you want to talk about, kind of think about that goal for the date, and come back. Reschedule if needed. This is going to be better than pushing through and letting things escalate into a big argument. So if you need to reschedule and do it another day, that is completely okay. Now, in between these monthly money dates, I also want you to be doing weekly check-ins. This is going to be much quicker, not a big deal. You don't need to worry about if the kids are there or anything like that, but just take 15 minutes each week so that you can sit down together and check in and talk about the week ahead. I like to do this on Sundays because that's when I plan my week. I kind of do some meal planning, things like that. And I look at my budget and I look at the bills that are going to be coming out and stuff like that. So my husband and I like to sit down and talk through the week and kind of see what's coming. He works a ton, so I'm the one who primarily manages the money, and it's hard when it feels like he's not involved. So this is a great way for us to continue to check in and make sure that we're both involved and we're both on the same page always. So with these weekly check-ins, make sure that you're asking, how are we doing this week? Plan for anything coming up. This keeps you connected without overwhelming detail. So you don't need to go in huge detail. It's just a quick check-in. All right. You know how I like to give you homework. So here's your homework. This week, I want you to schedule your first money date for the last week of the month. And then before your date, I want each of you to think about what's working, what isn't working in your current budget, and decide on a goal for that money date. Kind of what's the goal of the night. During your date, make sure you use the agenda that we discussed and remember to celebrate, not just fix the problems. Don't focus too much on the problems. And then moving forward, make sure you're doing your 15-minute weekly check-in and you're actually scheduling those recurring money dates, because I want you to make sure that this is really regular part of your schedule. So during your money date, schedule the next one. Figure out what day is going to work for you guys and put it in the calendar. If you're like me, I live by my calendar. So if it's going to happen, it has to go in the calendar as soon as possible. To help you with this process, I do have a full digital money date guide available to you. So I'll link that in the show notes. If you feel like you need some guidance there, that's going to be a great tool for you. Okay, quick recap on everything. Monthly dates and weekly check-ins are going to keep you aligned with your finances and keep that communication open. This is about staying connected. It's not about having the perfect budget and getting all the numbers exactly right. This is about your relationship and staying on the same page. If you're struggling to make budgeting feel collaborative instead of stressful and tense, I do have one private financial coaching spot still available. So I do offer a free discovery session so we can talk through your specific situation and figure out a coaching program that's going to work best for you. We'll create a system that works for you and your relationship. Sometimes it helps just having that unbiased third party involved and having that accountability. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you can come for the next episode, dropping in 2 weeks, all about how to handle it when one of you is a spender and one of you is a saver. That is me and my husband, by the way. I am a spender and I learned to control it, so it can happen. I'm a spender. He's a saver. We have figured it out, you guys. We have figured out how to navigate that because those tendencies don't completely go away. If you learned something today, share it with other couples who need it and follow the show so you never miss a new episode. Thank you so, so much for sharing and reviewing, and I hope you have an amazing day. Thanks for joining me today on Money and Marriage Made Simple. If you found this episode helpful, you'll love my essential money checklist for couples. You can grab that for free on the link in the show notes. Episodes will drop every other week, so be sure to follow the show so you never miss a new one. For more tips and encouragement between episodes, come hang out with me on Instagram at Finances Without Fear. I'm cheering you on as you simplify your money and strengthen your marriage, one small step at a time.